This video is sponsored by Factor 75. Get fresh, ready-made meals delivered to your doorstep when you sign up with Factor. Their menus are updated weekly. They have seafood, veggie, and keto options if that's what you're looking for. Check my link in the description below and use code FACTORSE10507 for 60% off your first box. Let's go ahead and get some things out of the way real quick. So, first of all, we're going to be talking about Elon Musk right now. That's a thing that we're going to be doing. If you're not on Twitter, then some of the verbiage that I use might be strange to you. I know there's at least 3 people on the planet who don't use the platform, and I completely understand not wanting to use it. But we are going to be talking about how Elon has been utilizing his time on the platform recently, because today has been a very interesting day when it comes to Elon and Twitter news. So, as always, let's get into the fan art section first, and then we will go ahead and get into the content. This one is from Shady Shiones at a quick Lord Dumpy pixel art done during tonight's Vice Rhino collab. Thank you very much for that. Bathing in Acheron has the next one. This was supposed to be a tiny little fun doodle since I finally got time to do fan art for you, but I then went fuck it and did a full painting. Jesus. But also, thank you. The last one we have here is from... Oh, they also said I call it Professor Suris. That one's important. Said, I have no idea why Dumpy is wearing panties. All I know is I support it. That was in response to what Shady Shion put out. But then said, I drew the Slime Suris bell. Also, Suris, if you decide to feature this in a future segment, please refer to me as my Twitch username, Lunember. But yeah, refer to me as my Twitch username, Lunember. As always, everyone, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, go ahead and drop it in the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, let's go ahead and get into talking about Elon Musk and Twitter. But first, Raspberry Daz, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl. All right, let's go ahead and get into things. We've got some stuff to cover. Elon has decided a couple of things for Twitter. One, and this was something I didn't cover when it happened because I was like, oh, that's expected. Does anybody remember what Twitter Spaces were? So for those who don't know, Twitter Spaces was basically an area where you could live stream on Twitter in audio-only mode. And you could bring on various guests. And basically anybody who was a viewer could queue up to be a speaker as well. And live spaces... we've only really covered anything that's happened on these Twitter Spaces once before. That was when we were covering Hypnotist Sappho. Because there was a thing that happened on there where they were doing something yikesy while a minor was present in a Twitter Space. And that is a video that we have already done. But basically, think of what I'm doing right here on Twitch, or if you're on YouTube. I don't know how to translate this alien language to you, but... think of a live stream, but it is also audio, and it is hosted on Twitch. And Cannibal Redneck is making me say, ara, ara, because they are. So, Elon hopped into one of those Twitter Spaces to give some comments. It was not the one he was hosting, but to give some comments about the recent bannings of journalists that have happened on the platform. And he got a lot of pushback in that particular conversation about bannings of certain journalists on the platform because he said that certain journalists were engaging in doxing. Whether or not that was happening, I did not spend too much time looking into because not super important compared to what happens afterwards. After getting significant pushback on there, oh, by the way, Keffels probably covered this in much better detail than I can because Keffels was there in the space when this happened. But Elon Musk decided, after getting significant pushback in this Twitter space, that Twitter Spaces were gone. They just stopped being a thing. There was no reason to have Twitter Spaces on the platform anymore. Now, this is in line with something that he said originally, which was that Twitter was going to be curbing underutilized and superfluous things on the platform. I know that I personally didn't use Twitter Spaces, so maybe there is something to the idea that Spaces were just something that people didn't use all that often. But at the same time, It is interesting to me that a man who is ostensibly so high on his high horse on the idea of free speech and believes that Twitter is the #1 place for people to engage in free speech, not just because that's a great marketing ploy, but also because just in general, Twitter is the most public social media platform of all time. Every other social media platform of some variety has some limitation. Hive can't handle the amount of people who have ran into it. Mastodon is super clunky and very hard to learn. Facebook is built in such a way that only the people who are part of your inner circle will see your stuff. It doesn't get piggybacked off of other people as often as it does on Twitter. And Tumblr is equally echo chambery for the same reasons. Though Tumblr probably operates closest to Twitter out of all of the ones that I just named. But of all of them, Twitter is king. Functionally, Twitter is the one that has the highest user base and has the highest reach based on its algorithm. Mika, thank you for resubscribing. I appreciate it. It said seems so much shorter than 15 months. I can imagine that. And originally, we had a whole bunch of interesting things from Twitter, from Elon, who believed that free speech was the common thing on his platform that he was going to promote. Things like, oh, well, your tweets might get buried if you don't have Twitter Blue. You know, free speech for a price. But we're not talking about all of those other fiascos. We did that in a different video. We're here to talk about the fact that, well, at least here, Twitter Spaces got nuked after Elon got significant pushback, which I find to be very, very interesting. But something else happened today that I find equally interesting. Now, let's go ahead and give some context. Every single social media platform has an algorithm of some kind that tries to suppress links that go outside the platform. This is true for Twitch. This is true for YouTube. This is true for Facebook. This is true for everything. For instance, have you ever noticed that if you make a post on Twitter and you put a link in that post, that does not get a whole lot of engagement, but if you make a post on Twitter and then put a link under the post, now suddenly you've got more engagement? That's because most sites try to keep you on their site, because most websites that are free are paid for by advertising dollars. Those advertising dollars do not do a lot of work. They do not have a lot of leg room if you do not have eyes on your platform, if you do not have eyes on your site. So in order to keep eyes on your site, what platforms will do is they will algorithmically kill any post that has a link that goes somewhere else. How's it going, Rayumi? How you doing? Raspberry Daz for 50,001 channel points. Free speech. Ah, yes. You mean saying wonderful words like, oh, whoa, naturally. Yes, apparently. That's a thing that you've made me do on this video. And now, I wish for everything to cease. Ramus is getting ready for work. What about you? We are just talking about the recent goings-on Twitter. Elon Musk decided not only to nuke Twitter Spaces, but what I was getting into is that most social media will suppress links that go out to other social media. However, today, something different happened. A public post had been put out from Twitter directly, not Musk, but Twitter. But, you know, at this point, Musk is Twitter functionally. And it said that any links that were posted or part of people's bios that went to other websites on a short list of websites would be taken down because they would be seen as advertising to go onto other sites. Yeah, it was from Twitter support. And this included things like Linktree. Now, for those who don't know, Linktree is a wonderful tool in a content creator's toolkit that allows you, the user, to find all of a content creator's socials in a single link, instead of us having to jam as many links as we can into a description. We can just put a single link for you to click that will give you a nice curated website that will give you access to everything that you are trying to see. Now, Twitch or Twitter getting rid of the ability to have a link tree, something that is so basic for content creators, is absolutely stupid. I know the rationale behind it. It's the same rationale that is used by algorithms to make sure that people keep their eyes trained on your website. However, there's a difference between suppressing a particular thing in the algorithm versus openly stating that if you happen to use one of these services in tandem with Twitter, which, oh, by the way, those services can be used for people to find your Twitter in the first place, then you will outright ban those users. They will be taken off the platform instantly for using them. I did not know this was a thing when I woke up, because I woke up super late today. It's why the stream is happening at 1 in the morning, because I'm a well-adjusted adult individual, and I handle all of my stuff on a case-by-case and sometimes not on a consistent basis. I woke up to being inundated with messages about the fact that I needed to delete my Linktree link from my profile, which I have, and I need to go ahead and fix that. But I needed to delete it because they were actively banning accounts that used a Linktree. Now, there are other things that are being taken, that were being taken out as well. Links to people's mastodons was a bannable offense. I was also wondering why, when I woke up, I saw so many people linking their Mastodon profiles on Twitter, because usually when I see that, that means Elon done fucked up. And, you know, now that that has happened, everybody is trying to say, hey, leave to go here. Flower of the Northwest says Mastodon. Mastodon is a Twitter alternative that is, as I said, I find it very, very clunky. It's based on particular interest groups as opposed to being based on just being a public forum. So when you join a Mastodon, you join a group that is based on programming or art or literature. And then from there, you can go out into the greater Mastodon ecosystem. That's Mastodon. It's a more clunky Twitter alternative that some people actually prefer a lot to Twitter, and I can understand preferring it. Linking to Mastodon was another bannable offense because they are a Twitter competitor. But again, the way to handle this always has been to use an algorithm to suppress those things, as opposed to just outright banning people who utilize them. Now, this is kind of funny, considering that Elon Musk, and I wish I had this tweet because it's just so prudent to the situation. If somebody has the tweet, let me know, because it is hilarious. But there's a tweet from several months ago that Elon put up that said that in any socioeconomic system, if you have two systems that are performing equally and you are having a hard time determining which one of them is worse than the other, look for the one that is putting up walls to keep its people in. Look at the one that is using walls to keep its people from escaping. That is the bad one. That's the wrong one. Well, wouldn't you know it, that's the exact same thing that Elon tried to do. It is exactly the thing that Elon tried to do. He tried to put up walls to keep people from leaving. Oh, don't put links to your other socials. That might give people ideas about leaving Twitter and going to different social media sites. Now, recently, and this is all recent because this all happened today, but recently, as in a handful of hours ago, that decision seems to have been reversed. Now, the idea is more so that they will get rid of accounts that are engaging in superfluous spam, a lot of spam for other socials. Basically, accounts that are built on the back of only spamming socials. So, you know that age-old adage for content creators on Twitter that we need to actually interact on Twitter instead of just posting when we make new videos and go live? Yeah, do that now, because now you're actively being threatened by Muskrat. Jordo said they since deleted the tweets about the new policy. I've not checked to see if the policy is still instated, but Musk tweets following its deletion seem to imply they were retracted. He's saying the future major policy changes will be put up to a vote, including his resignation. Ah, yes, which is the thing that I need to get into next. Kadia says, I figured Elon would ruin Twitter. I just didn't imagine it would happen so quickly. It's insane how quickly he has managed it. It's kind of crazy. But, you know, this is what happens when you take somebody whose entire economic ability is based around the idea of faking it till you make it. If you've watched any of Elon's presentations on robotics, oh boy, it is some spicy levels of cope. Yes, reality is absurd, Trash Cat. You were entirely correct there. But the last thing that we need to get into with the wrapping up of everything that's gone on with Elon and Twitter is that he has decided that he is going to be putting whether or not he is stepping down from Twitter to a vote. This man is choosing to step down based on if people will democratically yank him out. Now, I want to go ahead and say right now, this is a farce. And I know what you're saying, but if he steps down after this, then you're wrong, Suris. No. I'm not wrong. Because here's what's going to happen. Elon is going to put up this poll. If Elon loses in this poll, which, I mean, there's already 3 million votes on it, and it's already leaning heavily into the yes, and that gap is wider now than it was 12 hours ago when it was sitting at like 52 to 48. When he is democratically, quote, quote, taken off of the Twitter platform, here's what's going to happen. Elon Musk is going to choose his successor. Functionally, what this means is Elon will have the ability to put any puppet he wants in the CEO spot. Because remember, this dude has Starlink. This dude has Tesla. This dude has access to money in different locations. He doesn't need to be Twitter CEO. He never needed to be Twitter CEO. He's going to be able to put whoever he wants in that seat. And when he puts that person in that seat, then we're going to have that moment of everybody rejoicing that, oh, yeah, no, Elon's doesn't have control of Twitter anymore. That makes everything better. No, bullshit. He will still have control of Twitter. He may not be CEO, but he will still be owner. He will still be the sole majority shareholder. He will still have all of the power that he has right now. There will just be a different face in the front taking the heat instead of him. But all of the same decisions will be being made, and they will all be being made the exact same way, and they will all be being made by the exact same person. Agamotto, thank you for redeeming your points for an ara, you fucking degen. So not sure if this is the right term, but the new person would just be a figurehead. Functionally, they would be a mouthpiece for Musk. That's exactly what they would be. And they would be getting all the hate and all the targeting thrown on them instead, which is what he's looking for. That's what he wants. Incendio says my owl. No, it didn't. Incendio, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl. Sorry, I didn't catch it before because I can't read. What do you think? Do you think this is a face of a person who knows how to read? No, it's not. I can't read for shit. I don't even know what this says. I'm just guessing based on the symbols. That's what I'm doing. Said, yes, I know you can. Shh. Don't tell them. Elon might ban my Twitter because knowing how to read might be the next bannable offense. Suris plays Yu-Gi-Oh! We know he can't read. Hey, Suris can't read. Maybe it's time to sponsor you some special lessons to learn. Rayumi, no! No! I am not reading Polish on stream again! I don't think you... Okay, Rayumi, I don't remember if I said this, but, like, I actually, during the reading Polish stream, I got a migraine from trying to do that for as long as I did. Oh, you want to learn Polish? No, I don't! No! Remixon already tried. Remixon already tried, and I just can't. I just can't. We've gotten off the topic. We've gotten off the topic. But that's pretty much all there is in the topic so far. We don't know what's going to happen with... Ah, right, Nakibri. Nakibri has come through with the tweet. The acid test for any two competing socioeconomic systems is which side needs to build a wall to keep people from escaping. That's the bad one. Elon, we did this with Trump once before. It was very easy to do this with Trump. It was so easy to take things the man said a handful of months prior and juxtapose them to actions he had taken in more recent memory. And they never lined up. It's almost as if most of these people say whatever is most convenient for the situation at the time so that they can gain as much publicity or financial gain or what have you in that amount of time. It's very hard to listen to the things that people like Musk, like Trump, like Walsh, and everybody else, it's very hard to listen to the things that they say as if they are speaking with any level of conviction, because the things that they say are motivated by principles like, you know, money and monetary gain, which I'm not necessarily immune to. I am a content creator on a platform that, you know, I don't get to escape that rat house either. But that's what I meant. Basically, Musk was going to appoint a sycophant. Yeah, there are some people that are thinking that Musk is going to appoint Jared Kushner as the CEO of Twitter. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case, but I guess we'll go ahead and see what comes up. We'll go ahead and see. Anywho, as always, everybody, that's everything that I got for that topic. Let me know what you think in the comment section below when this goes up on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And I know that I haven't said it during this particular segment, but, you know, we are sponsored by Factor right now. If you want to get meal kit stuff, that is a way to get meal kit stuff. All the information for that was at the beginning of the video. But you guys don't know that on Twitch because that's going to be in the magic of editing. Anyways, as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.